Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, you guys, I've got a really special treat for you guys tonight. I have a special guest. His name is Matt Townz, and he is a musician. And the way I found Matt was I actually found him through my friend Jeff, who has a channel called The Recovery. And what I want to do right now while we're waiting for Matt to get here, I want to share his channel with you guys. So what I'm going to do, boom, is I'm going to link it right now. So that way you guys can subscribe to his channel and follow him. So here we go. Okay. There's Matt's. I just linked it. There you go, guys. There's Matt's channel link. Let me go ahead and put Matt's channel. Okay. So I hope that helps you guys. Hey, Deidre. So, and then what I was thinking we could do while we're hanging out. Hey, what's up, Rican Queen? How you doing? So, Matt raps. And y'all know that I ain't got no kind of rapping skills. But I've always okay, so a lot of the music that I like is rap, rock, really hard rock, but I've always been a rap kind of girl. So whenever I saw Matt over on Jeff's channel, The Recovery, because Jeff was like, you guys got to check him out. You guys got to check it out. I went over to Matt's channel to check him out, and I really I liked his style, So I was like, shoot, man, I got to get this guy over here on my channel. And then there's Jeff. Yeah, that's Jeff, you guys, the guy I'm talking about, The Recovery. Then I was like, I got to get this guy on my channel so I can chop it up with him and get to know him and learn about how he got into his addiction, what made him get sober, and where he's at today. And so that's what we're going to do. It's just going to be me and Matt chopping it up just like me and Zach did last night. And I wanted to ask you guys, did you guys enjoy last night's stream with Zach? Did you guys like how it was just kind of more laid back? I feel like the more that I'm getting used to interacting with people over the streams, I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with it and just kind of rolling with it, and it's just becoming a lot more easy for me. Okay, you enjoyed it. And Deidre says she enjoyed it very much. Thank you. Okay, good. Is there anything that you guys want me to focus on tonight, like doing better? Is there anything? Hey, Jeff, is there any questions that you guys want me to ask that maybe I'm skipping over or I didn't ask last night with Zach? Let me get a pen and pencil so I can write it down, my dears. Okay. Okay. Hey, Missa, what's up, girl? Hey, Misty. You can't hear me. Oh, hold on a second. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. I was going to wait right until he got here, but I saw you guys coming into the chat, and I didn't want to leave y'all hanging in here for too long. So Matt just got off work. He's headed home right now. He should be home any second. Okay, good. Good deal. Misty, put your earbuds in. Caleb, you hear me? Good. Jeff can hear me? Good. Oh, you can hear me now. Good deal. Good deal. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. So how's everybody doing in their recovery? While we're waiting on Matt, how's everybody doing? Anybody struggling? Anybody going through any trials or tribulations? Talk to me while we're hanging out. Let me know what's going on in your lives. I saw a lot of you came over and joined the Facebook group. I'm so glad that you guys joined. What's up? Combo Felon's in the house. So Combo Felon will be on tomorrow night, you guys, to share his experience, strength, and hope. So I'm telling you guys, I'm working to reach out to people and get them on the channel. I really do need some ladies to volunteer to come on and share your stories, because I've got a whole bunch of guys reaching out to me, but I don't have a lot of ladies. And I want to make sure, hey, Captain, I want to make sure that I keep it even, and I also want to make sure that I'm showing all different pathways to recovery. I don't want to just do maintenance. I don't want to just do abstinence. I want to have people on the channel who maybe they smoke pot, and if they're staying sober and they're able to smoke pot and not go out and get high on dope, then I want to show that side. I want to show all pathways to recovery. I don't want anyone to feel like they're left out or excluded, because that's not what Real Talk Recovery is about. Real Talk Recovery is about inclusive recovery. Everybody's welcome. Patience is a virtue. I can't seem to keep my anger. It's crazy, like resentment is deadly, and it's all in my head, but I can't make it stop. Patience is hard. And one of the things that I learned in early recovery is that do not pray for patience. Because if you do, your higher power, oh mercy. One thing I learned is that when you're in prison, you get in line and you have to wait to go everywhere. You wait in the chow hall. You wait. You're just always in a line waiting, right? And it goes slow as hell. So you learn how to just be chill, right? Let me see. It's hard though. And you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that thing that they used to do when we were breathe in? Woosa. 1, 2, 3. What the hell is bothering me? 4, 5, 6. You know what I'm saying though? Just like breathe in, breathe out. Let me see what you guys are saying. Da, 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 da. Hey Andrea, what's up, girl? I saw you comment earlier too on another video, I think. I'm good. Just had it out with CVS on Sunday over their theft. Luckily, I'm able to do a third of a strip until Thursday. Thank goodness. I'm glad that you're okay though, Lisa. Let me know if you need anything. What did Rican Queen? What's going on with Rican Queen? Let me see what she said up here. Sorry, I'm trying to see all y'all's comments. I'm about to make 2 years on November 13th, and it's hard with holidays. Hey, listen to me. 2 years is an amazing accomplishment. Hell to the yeah. Okay, so you brought up a really great point, Reeking Queen, about the holidays. And I want to share something with you guys. This is real personal, okay? So me and my husband have, been sober since July of 2015. And since July of 2015, we have tried to have a relationship with his sister and her husband and her 5 kids. Now, when we were in our active addiction, Neil and his sister's relationship it's been very estranged for a long time. She's always really resented him and been jealous of him, because I think she feels like his mom favors him, but she doesn't. It's just how sisters and brothers are. But because of the strain in their relationship, it strained my relationship with her. So we got off to a bad start. And so every holiday, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas that comes around, I think, is this going to be the Christmas that we're actually going to all be a family, and they're going to come over and we're all going to hang out. And every Christmas they don't come, or they come when we're not there, and then they leave when we get there. And that's my son's aunt and uncle. Those are my son's cousins. And I want my son to be able to know his aunt and uncle and play with his cousins. And me and my husband, we've made amends to them. We have done everything that we can do to make everything right with them. Now listen, you guys, we never stole from them. We never we never did it. We never were really even around them. But because we were in our active addiction, they have a resentment towards us because, it hurt them because we were actively using. And The way his sister always tried to get me and Neil to get sober was for us to go to church. And she thought if we went to church that we would get saved and then we would be sober. And that didn't work. We tried to go to church with her and just go to church and get sober through that way. And that didn't work for me and Neil. We had to go to treatment. We had to get into a program. Well, today Neil's mom text messaged me and told me that she invited Neil's sister and the family to Thanksgiving, and we're all coming over for Thanksgiving to Neil's mom's house this year. And so I texted her back, and I'm gonna read it to you guys what I said because I want to share with you guys. I said, okay. Okay. If Neil's sister comes, I hope she will be kind and not nasty to us. We have done so good, and Neil and I do not need her being nasty. We have worked really hard for the past 4.5 years. We are always respectful and kind to her. We love the kids, and it hurts our hearts that she treats us so bad. We want to be able to see the girls and the boys, but she would rather hold a resentment. We have done our part. I think it is time for her to do hers. It makes me so sad because I know Nate wants to play with his cousins. He used to ask about them all the time. And I said, "What do you think?" And I can't believe it, but she responded and said she understands and she prays that if they do come, that they'll be kind and forgiving. But she thinks that they probably won't come. But this is how it always is. Like, this is how it always is. We always come and we always put in the effort, and then they don't come around. And it makes us feel like we're just not even worth it. You know what I'm saying? And I know it really bothers my husband because it's his older sister. And yeah, she's always been very, very jealous of the relationship that Neil and his mother and father have. But it they're both really, really well taken care of. Like, she's just never had an addiction, and she's always been like just really smart, really responsible, went to college, got her degree, got married, had kids, and her life has been great. She hasn't had any like issues with substance abuse or anything like that. Like, her life is great. Okay. But it's almost like we have just been such a burden. And it's like they're ashamed of us. And that's the feeling that I feel. Um, it just really hurts because every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, I think, is this the Christmas? Is this the Thanksgiving that we're all going to come together? But then we'll go and they won't even look at us and they'll just leave. And it's just like, wow, is this how it's going to be? And now I'm married to Neil. Before I was just his girlfriend. Now I'm his wife. And so it's just so discouraging, you guys. That's not your problem, Cole. They are shortchanging her kids and she's missing time with her mom. Yeah, and she's missing time with her nephew. You know, that's what makes me the most upset is that it's not even about me. Like, I could care less about having a relationship with her. It's about my son. I feel the same way with my family just being a burden. Yes, Convo. Let me see what you guys are saying. Some folks you can't ever please. It has more to do with them than you. Samantha, girl, you're right. You're right. Hey, Michael, I just thank you so much. You did not have to do that, Michael, but I really, really do appreciate that $1.99, babe. I appreciate you. Next time, write a message up there so I can read it. I have an aunt who's the same way. She never comes down here to see us, but she expects us to drop everything and go up there and see her. Ugh, Clancy, isn't that annoying? I deal with my guilt of my past actions towards my family too. It's hard when it comes to our loved ones. It really, really is. Because it's like I feel so much guilt and shame, already. I don't need anybody else making it any, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, it hurts. It hurts. Yeah, Missa, we have a lot of the same situations. She can't relate, right? And that's the thing. I think that if she had ever struggled with addiction, then this wouldn't even be like this, you know? What you're doing and how far you've come, like, it's amazing, really. Like, I can't picture you being the girl you talked about in your interview with Josh. Combo felon, while we're waiting for Matt, I'm going to show you guys some pictures, okay? From me when I was in my active addiction. And then just so you guys know, that's my mom, Gina DeMayo. So, Mom, you need to meet all the new subscribers. We got quite a few new subscribers in the house, Mom. And so that's my mom. And just so you know, if you guys ever want to know, did all those things really happen? You could ask my mom. She was actually the one who had to come to the hospital while I was in a coma for 7 days. And that's the story that I told over on Josh's channel about me being in the coma. And so when I woke up, my mom was there. And she said, "Do you know how long you've been here?" And I said, "No." And that's when she told me, "You've been in a coma for 7 days." So, okay. Now, these are not even that bad of pictures because I was trying to look good. But okay. So let me kind of give you the basis of why I look the way I look. Okay. In this picture right here, you guys, I was living in a trailer. I had just moved in with my friend Tanya, and she was letting me live in one of the bedrooms, and it was empty. So I had a little mattress on the floor, and we were shooting methamphetamine, and I was working for Kroger, and she was driving me back and forth to work because my car had gotten impounded and I had sold it for all the money I could to get dope. And so I was just living there. And like I said, I just lived wherever anybody would let me live. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have my own place. And so if somebody would let me sleep on the couch, I would go sleep on their couch. If I could sleep, wherever I could land is where I would go. This picture right here makes me so sad because you can just see in my face how drawn up I was and how just and then this was me and Neil. This is 2 months after I met Neil. And you guys can just guess what we were doing. Then let me show you all this. I thought my stuff was just this stuff. Then my sister, me and my sister Michelle stayed up one night and she let me go through all her clothes and take all the dresses I wanted to take. So I tried on all these dresses and sorry, that's me. Look how, and that in this picture right here, I was so high. We had just gotten done shooting up and I was high as all hell. I wish you could see my eyes because you can really see it. In my eyes, they were just hollow. They were just hollow. Sobriety gives us a healthy glow. I have the same pics where I thought I looked so good. Yes. Sometimes they don't understand that we are harder on ourselves than they can ever imagine. We carry a lot of guilt and shame with us. Forgiving ourselves is hard work. Absolutely. And Rican Queen, I am so glad that you're here. Bye, Mom. I love you. So I'm so glad that new people are coming into the group, you guys. And I, when I did that interview with Josh, I was super nervous, you guys, but I knew, oh, here he's coming now. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. He'll be here in just a second, you guys. I knew that when I did that interview with Josh that people were going to find my channel, but I never imagined that basically 600 people were going to come over right away. And so it has just been so, so amazing. I'm so grateful for you guys. And I'm so excited. And that's why I'm working my butt off getting these interviews out for y'all and getting people to come on and share their stories. And that's what I want Real Talk Recovery to be. I want Real Talk Recovery to be for us, by us. For the addict, by the addict. We're the addict and we're in recovery, and that's what we're sharing today. And I want, like I said, I don't want to just do content for people that are on maintenance. I don't want to just do content for people that are abstinent. I don't want to just do content for, people that are medical marijuana. I want to share all spectrums of your recoveries. I want to share everyone's different pathway. Hey, Great Dane. Hey, combo felon. And we have, honestly, you guys, it has taken every bit of 2 years for us to build this community. Addicts, yes, we all matter, and it doesn't matter what your pathway is. It doesn't matter how you get to where you're going, y'all. All that matters is that what's up, we are on the journey. We are on that journey together. We're all on the same road going to the same place, which is living our lives, being successful, happy, joyous, and free, right? And that's the thing. So, you guys, while we're waiting for Matt, he just said he was fixing to come on, so he'll be here in just a second. I have an idea. So, you guys know that I'm obsessed with tie-dye. Like, I'm obsessed. So, what I was thinking for Real Talk Recovery, I want to make tie-dyed hoodies. But I don't want to just make Real Talk Recovery tie-dyed hoodies. I want to physically make them myself for you guys. Okay, here we come.
I'm here. I think.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, am I here?
Yep, you're here.
All right, what's up?
Not much, man. I'm so excited to have you on my channel. The first time I saw you was over on Jeff's channel, and then after I saw you over there, I ran over to your channel and listened to your music, and I was like, I like this dude. He's my kind of people.
I appreciate that.
So what I do here on my channel is I'm in recovery. I've been sober since July of 2015. I'm on medically assisted treatment, and I'm working on tapering off of that. But the basis of my channel is sharing my story to help other people not go down the same path, or if people are struggling, get them back on track. So what I heard is that you're also an addict.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is I want to share all different pathways. So if I know for me, like I said, I'm on Suboxone, that might not be your story. You might be totally abstinent, or you might smoke the ganja or whatever. I just want to share everybody's different experiences. And so that's why I reached out to you, because I know that your experience is different than mine. Also know that you're you're a musician. And so that probably presents a lot of different areas where you could be doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. And so I want you to share with us all about your life, how you got into drugs, how you got sober, and where you're at today, and about your channel, about your music, everything.
All right. So I'm completely abstinent. January will be 3 years. I'm not against Suboxone at all. I'm not against. I know people. I work with a guy who takes it and it helps him. But for an example, I tried to take it, and when I tried to take it, I was putting it in a spoon.
Oh yeah,
that's how it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
But so I couldn't do. I was so bad off I'm not saying I'm different than anybody, just my story's different.
Right.
I was so bad off that I couldn't, like, they would give me a whole bottle of Suboxone and I was in 2 weeks it was gone. So that was one of my main drugs. Was I never really got into heroin. I was mainly doing meth and I wasn't doing Suboxone, I was doing Subutex.
Uh-huh.
But it didn't start with that. Like, I didn't really grow up in like a bad home really. It was more of like I grew up in technically like a good home, went to church every Sunday, all that, but I chose to go a different way. Like, I grew up like myself would I can remember like second, third grade listening to rap music on the way to school. And so I done that on my own and would hide it. And so like music's been a part of my story since I started writing music when I was in like second grade. But it started with like I'd write country music, then I'd write rock music. So like I started doing that. That was my way of to escape at a very young age. So now that I think about it, that was a way for me to escape when I was younger. So that right there is like, I guess you could call it signs of being an addict. I was looking for ways to escape.
Right.
And as I got older, like it really didn't really start until I was probably about 15. And I started taking pills and it just basically gradually went up from there. And I started with Adderall, pain pills. I got bad. This is probably gonna sound crazy, but I got bad off on tramadol at one point. Like I was eating like 25.
It's not crazy because my husband, when we were in active addiction, he kind of got on a tramadol kick, and it was because he couldn't get his hands on anything else, so he would just have to take so many at one time. It was, and he had a seizure from it and almost died.
See, I had a brand new car in 2012. It was a 2012 Altima. It had less than 8,000 miles on it. I had not even got the first oil change yet, and I had a seizure on tramadol and totaled it.
Yep.
Because I was taking so many.
Mm-hmm.
But see, one thing that I really got into was like because I really started rapping when I was in like sixth grade. And because I tried to have like a band with all my friends and it never worked out. So I was like, I'm gonna do something that I can do on my own.
Yeah.
So I started, and I'd always listen to rap music. So I started rapping. And I guess like listen, and I don't blame it on them. And I told Jeff this too. I don't blame it on them, but listening to that music made me want to live that way.
Right. I totally get that.
And I don't, now that I think about it, I don't blame it on them because a lot of them are just telling their story. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing through rap music. They're telling their story. And I wanted to live that way, so that's what I went and done. And instead I tried to sell the drugs, I ended up using the drugs.
Yeah.
That's how it ended up being for me. And it just gradually one thing led to another. I started off on Adderall, the pain pills, and then being in the hip hop culture, it led me to drinking cough syrup. And that's when the cough syrup is when that's when it really got like I was taking Oxycontin by mouth, but the cough syrup is when I got the worst off. Like I got the worst off drinking the cough syrup, and that's when I went to the doctor and got put on Suboxone. And when I got put on Suboxone, I wasn't even on the needle yet.
Oh shit.
I got on the needle. A Subutex was the first thing I ever shot up. That was the first thing, and people tell me all the time I'm crazy for that, but that was the first thing I ever shot up.
I don't think you're crazy. I mean, I have heard of people busting strips down and shooting them up, and Subutex and shooting it up, and that just shows you that so many, like, for me, like I wouldn't do that because, well, I mean, I've shot up everything else, but just not Suboxone.
Yeah.
But like that's why I wanted to have you on my channel, because here's the thing. Like, your experience with Suboxone is not a good experience, you know? And I know several people who have had the same situation that you did. They
Yeah,
shot it up. And so I want to show the different sides. So that's why if you come on my channel, like, there's no judgment here. I totally support you. Like, I just want you to
yeah.
know
Like
that.
I don't
So,
think, like I think that what they use it for is good. I
yeah,
really do. I think it's a good treatment if you go into it with the right mindset and the
yeah,
right reasons. If you go into the treatment with the wrong mindset, you'll mess yourself up. That's
for
what I
sure. Yeah, like I had to go in and be ready to change my life, you know? And
did.
my son got taken away from me. So that's kind of what pushed me into that um avenue. So I was ready to start making changes in my life, you know? But
Yeah,
I have totally been there where I was on dope and then I would get Suboxone and use it because I couldn't get any dope, you know?
yeah.
So I totally understand. Okay, keep on going. I'm listening.
All right. I don't really remember where I was at.
Okay,
Uh,
so you got put on Subutex and then you started shooting them up.
yeah. And then I started shooting up the Subutex, and I was doing that and smoking weed. And the meth is such a, because I'm from Alabama. Down here, you where I live, you can't find no heroin at all. It's just, but on every other corner, it's meth everywhere.
Same
And
here. I'm
and
in Arkansas.
yeah, it's everywhere. And so I was going to my my Subutex doctor and felling for weed every month, but he didn't care. As long as I came in there and didn't, he had so many people felling for meth. I was only felling for weed. He didn't care. He kept
Yeah.
giving it to me. So I was smoking weed, taking Suboxone, and I was prescribed Klonopin. So I was taking all this at one time.
Hmm.
And there for like 2 years, I was just mixing I was getting the Klonopin from him. I was going to another doctor getting Klonopin. I was buying Xanax off the street. So I think I got to a point where I was taking probably just to maintain. I would get up and eat probably 5 milligrams of Klonopin just to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And then I was going and buying Xanax bars, and so by this time, benzos had became a real big problem for me. But around this time, this was probably, I say, about 2000. I'm scatterbrained, so I'm gonna jump around everywhere.
You're
This
okay. Me too. Go ahead.
this
You're
is
doing
probably
great.
this is probably about 2013. I had just found my I came home one day and found my dad dead. So like I lost it. That's when I completely just lost it. And I used that, and yeah, I was going through it. I was dealing with something. I was trying to cope, but at the same time, the first thing that popped in my head is these doctors are going to give me some Xanax. I knew they would
Yeah.
because of what
Yeah.
I just went through. So I went straight to the doctor and got it. And I think my dad died. I wasn't on the needle yet, but within about, I don't know exactly. I say anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, I was on the needle. And then I started out with just the Subutex, and then I got back. See, it didn't matter. As long as it would get me out of myself, I would do it.
What happened
And
to your dad?
my dad was an alcoholic, and but he, to an extent, he laid down in the bed and had drank and was on medications, and it killed him.
I am so
So
sorry, man.
so it wasn't purposely,
Right.
but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was, it messed with my head.
Well, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course it did. That's tragic. And then to come home and to find him like that, it's just like, and then being already addicted to drugs, of course it's going to send you spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And because he drank and took the medication, they ruled it as a suicide because technically it was. Because
Yeah.
you gotta I mean, so the reason I went so crazy is because I was wondering, like, okay, because I mean, the thought still goes through my mind to this day, like he could have done it on purpose, he could have not. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just that's something I'll never know, but like I've learned to cope with it. Like I finally that when I first got sober, when I was in treatment, that was the first thing I worked through with a therapist. And that was probably the best thing that I could have done because that was one of the main things that kept me using.
Yeah.
Because I kept using that as an excuse to like that is a big deal, but I kept using that as an excuse,
I know what you mean.
yeah, to keep using.
Yeah. And
So
now you learned how to grieve properly and then go through that accepting it
yeah,
because there's nothing that you can do to change it, and it's not your fault. You couldn't have been there. It just is what it is. And now you're able to move past that. And just like, your dad's up in heaven looking over you, and
yeah,
keeping, he's keeping you safe. And you know what I believe? I believe that if he was an alcoholic, he was probably didn't even realize that
hmm,
taking his medication with
yeah,
that alcohol wasn't a good idea. You know?
hmm,
Because a lot of the times I know for a lot of guys that I knew that were alcoholics, especially older men, they just don't think like that. They don't think,
yeah,
is this going to react with this, you know?
hmm.
So I'm really sorry that happened though, man.
No, it's something I've learned that I finally did grieve. It took me a while, but I finally grieved it. But I mean, it's I heard somebody say something one time that's so true. Losing somebody never gets easier. It just gets different.
Yeah.
You just learn to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's probably one of the things that threw me off the most though. But
So
man,
after,
I went to one treatment like 8 times. I went to another one 3 times. I've been to treatment altogether probably like 16, 17 times.
yeah,
I went I went
I haven't been that many, but I've been a couple.
yeah, I went to my first rehab before I even graduated high school. When I wrecked that car, I went to rehab and then I graduated I got out of rehab, graduated high school 3 days later. And when the day I graduated, I was already high again.
So you were an IV. She was shooting up meth then, right?
No, 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 no. I didn't start shooting up until I was 19. But by the time I was 16 years old, I
Uh huh.
was a full blown drug addict, popping pills every single day.
So what made you go from the Suboxone to methamphetamine?
All right, the first thing I started doing was when I was in high school, I started popping Adderall
Mm-hmm.
to help me focus in class and take my test. And so it got to where I couldn't get the Adderall, so I started taking pain pills. And
Mm-hmm.
they didn't help me focus as good as the Adderall did, but they helped. And then next thing I knew, my body was physically addicted to the pain pills. And so I got out of I would get out of rehab. Like I went to rehab so many times. I'd go to rehab and I'd get out and I'd say, all right, I'm just going to smoke weed, or I'm just going this time instead of taking opiates, I'm just going to take some Adderall. And so I think I had got out of rehab and I said, I'm not going to take no pain pills. I'm just going to take Adderall. And I remember calling a dude, and I had done meth before, but I'd done it the first time I had ever done it was with my cousin. I sniffed it and I got high, but it wasn't nothing serious. I just felt like I took an Adderall. And then, because I didn't do a lot. And then I remember a guy I was getting Xanax from. He shot me up. I done it for 3 days in a row. I ended up in the hospital with an abscess, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing it no more. I'm not doing it no more. Like, cause I ended up with like, I got marks all up and down my arms from abscess from the subs,
Yeah.
and
Damn. Yeah.
and I think I ended up with like 4 different abscesses, and I was back to taking Adderall. I called a dude to ask him if he could get me some, and he said no, but I would get you some meth. And I done it, and I don't know why, but I had done it a few times before, and it didn't really grab a hold of me. But when I done it that time, it was over with. I don't know what it was, but that one time I done it, it grabbed a hold of me, and I was off. But the crazy thing is I could on my own, I could stop doing the meth because the withdrawals are mental. They're not
Right.
they're not physical. Like I could lay in the bed for a few days and I'd be fine. But the opiates is what I could not stop doing. I couldn't stop
Mhm.
doing them. And I never got into heroin. I've done heroin a few times, but I've seen so many friends die from it because I used to live in Florida, and
Mhm.
I've seen so many people down there die from it. I was scared of it. And I knew the way I was with meth, if I did the same thing with heroin, I was gonna die. I knew that.
Damn. So you're. I live in Arkansas, and it's the same way here. Like I shot Roxy's and I shot meth. I mean, I was tweaked out all the time. Like methamphetamine and Roxy's were my two drugs of choice. But it was like meth was everywhere. Heroin wasn't down here like 5 years ago, you know? And when if it was, I've only gotten it like 3 or 4 times. So I was a lot like you were. Like I was doing meth and then other opiates. And so methamphetamine took me down through there because I would stay up for so many days and I
Yeah,
would start going insane.
yeah,
And I would see stuff that wasn't there and I it would be so afraid. It was horrible. It was the worst, but I would keep on doing it, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So what made you decide, okay, did something happen? Did you get in trouble with the law? Did somebody
Okay.
die? What made you decide to make changes in your life?
All right. I did get in trouble with the law, and I got arrested on altogether it was like 7 or 8 charges. 2 of them were felonies. I ain't have no money for a lawyer. I had a state attorney. I went to court and I ended up walking away with one. I got charged with one felony, and uh, I ended up. It could have been way worse. It could have been way worse. But the judge told me, he said, if you'll go to treatment, he said, go to treatment. I'm gonna charge you with this felony and not charge you with this one. So basically, I went to treatment, and the day I walked out of that courtroom, he told me to go to Florida. He literally looked at me and said, "Go to Florida and don't come back." And he said, "Cause it wasn't really bad charges. I was just a drug addict and I was stealing."
Right, right.
And that's why he didn't. That's why I feel like that's probably why he took it easy on me, because it was like they were felony charges, but they were like the smallest of felony charges.
Right.
And he um he told me to go to Florida and don't come back. The day I walked out of that courtroom, I knew exactly. I had literally just got charged with a felony. He let me off easy, almost gave me 3 years in prison. And the day when I walked out of that courtroom, I knew exactly what I was going to do. And what I would do is after that, I bounced around. I would come back home, try to do right. If I relapsed, I'd jump on a Greyhound and go back to Florida.
Wow.
And because there's treatment centers everywhere down there.
Yeah, I've never been down there, but that's what I hear. It's like
Yeah.
so the kid I had on last night, he said there's like literally 8 treatment centers on the strip, just right there.
Yeah, yeah. But you got to be careful because some of them down there are good, and then some of them down there are bad. Like they're just some of them down there are good treatments, and then some of them are flop houses to where they're just running your insurance, getting your money, and letting you stay there and get high. So it's turned into instead of helping people, it's turned into a business.
Right.
And but every time I would relapse, I knew I was going to end up back in jail because I knew what I did down here. And he told me he said, if you stand in front of me again, you're going to prison for 3 years plus your new charges. So every time I'd relapse, I'd go back to Florida every single time. It was just back from 2012 all the way to I moved back home at the beginning of 2018. I've been home almost I've been home almost 2 years, I think. I've been sober almost 3 years. I've been back home almost 2. I came home with a year. And when I just go from 2012 all the way to the beginning of 18, I went back and forth 5 years back and forth from here to Florida, just running. I was trying to run from my problems.
Right.
And I was staying in a halfway house. And some people it's different. Some people they hit a complete bottom and they lose everything. Like you said, you lost your kids. You lost your kids. Some people they lose everything. For me, I was living in a halfway house. I had just smoked a blunt. Everything was fine. I had somewhere to lay my head. Nothing was. I think I probably had $20 in my pocket. I wasn't broke. I could go to the store and get me something to eat if I wanted to. And I just froze up, hit my knees, went into a panic attack. And I was like, I can't do it no more. I wasn't even really that bad off. I was taking the Suboxone, but at this point I had got off the needle, but I was still sniffing them. I was sniffing the Suboxone and I was smoking weed, and I couldn't do it no more. And dude, I was living in a halfway house with was one of my best friends. I still talk to him to this day. I went in the house and I told him, I was like, I can't do it no more. I gotta go. And I remembered going to an NA meeting, and I seen this guy I knew that was sober, and he said, when you decide, and don't take this the wrong way, because it's different for everybody, but he knew what I was doing, and he said, when you decide you want to get off them subs, you call me.
Yeah.
And I picked up the phone and I called him, and he said, I'll be there to pick you up in the morning. And I was staying in West Palm Beach. He picked me up. He took me to Delray Beach. I did a week I checked into the detox on January 4th. And if you just try to completely come off of them, it's terrible.
Listen to me, babe. I'm not stupid. I'm tapering.
Don't do it.
I've been on a taper for 6 months. Like my taper is probably going to take like a whole year to that's how low I'm going down.
Yeah. Taper off the right way. Off the right way.
I'm taking like my doctor is like, seriously, I'm so serious about this because see, Suboxone saved my life, but it wasn't Suboxone. It was the fact that I was on the medication, and what it did was it helped me to where I couldn't go out and get high on other opiates.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't help with the meth part. So what I did was I got into AA and I started going to meetings, and I started get a sponsor, and I started like really like getting my life back together and going to therapy. And that's the things that really helped me to stay sober. You know,
So you go to meetings?
Yeah. But in the meetings, I mean, very involved, like chairing meetings, sponsor, and everything. I love AA. That's where I've always gone. That's what's big here in Arkansas where I live.
That's where I go.
And I do big book studies here on my channel on Monday nights. And I mean, like, I love the program of AA. Like, I believe in it wholeheartedly. And nobody has ever done me dirty in AA. Like, it's only people that have an opinion of maintenance that are ignorant or people that have had a bad experience. But in AA, they've always shown me so much love. They've never judged me. And the people that I went to AA with knew me when I was in my active addiction. So they know that I'm totally different now, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's been good for me. But I know that there are people, because I hear it all the time, who there's a kid on YouTube who has a channel, and he's addicted to snorting his Suboxone, and he cannot stop. Like it's so, I mean, and that is his drug of choice, snorting Suboxone, you know? And so that just shows you how many different people, like I truly believe, like I know 100% without a doubt, like you were doing the Suboxone and you hated it and it was a horrible thing. And I don't know, I think people get their feelings hurt because they think, well, it worked for me, it has to work for everybody else. But I know I know that it doesn't work for everybody. And I've seen people who abuse it, and then people who just cannot stand the medication. So you're never going to offend me. Like, I support you, and
I'm like I said, I'm for it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I go to AA too.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If I wasn't doing a program and I was just sitting over here sucking on Suboxones, like I wouldn't be, like, I'm very active in recovery. And, you know, it's very important to me for people to have some kind of program. It doesn't matter if it's 12 steps, doesn't matter if it's Celebrate Recovery, doesn't matter if it's Smart Recovery or Refuge Recovery or therapy. But I think that people need to have, if they're on maintenance, they need to have maintenance, they need to be in therapy, and they need to have some kind of sober support network, some kind of program.
And the way I look at it is, it don't matter what nobody tells you in there. They can tell you blah blah blah, you ain't sober, you're taking Suboxone. This is the way I look at it. If it is prescribed to you by a doctor and you are taking it the way the doctor told you to take it, you're still sober.
Right, right. And that's what the book tells us.
That's the way I see it.
That's what the Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book says. It says, first of all, that we AAers are not doctors, so we don't need to be giving anybody medical advice, first of all. Second of all, that's why there's physicians, and that's why, think about back in the day when Bill W. started AA. Think about all the people that were on sedatives, that were on benzos, that were on psych meds, and they were sober, and they got their 20-year chips, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's why I think what happens is people judge.
I'll tell you this because it's part of my story. Meth messed my teeth up bad. Mm-hmm. And not too long ago, my mouth, it was about 6 months ago, my mouth swelled up like a golf ball. And I had to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had to get 6 teeth pulled within like a 2-3 month period. And I was in so much pain, I ain't had no choice but to take some pain medicine. But this is what I done. I told my sponsor, I talked to my grand sponsor about it. I gave the bottle to my mom, and she gave it to me like the bottle said. It said every 4 to 6 hours. I didn't take 2 every 4 to 6 hours. I took 1 when I was hurting. And then as soon as I quit hurting, she got rid of them for me. I didn't touch the bottle not once. I didn't want to see it. I said, when I'm hurting, you give me one, just to be safe. And I'm not gonna lie, after I quit taking them, it messed with my head for a couple of days. But I was aware of it. I made myself aware. I knew what I was doing. I knew that, all right, this could potentially turn bad.
Right, right.
I had to stay fully aware, because all it could take, because you can do something for the right reasons, and then it turned into doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right, right. And then the fact that you got your sponsor, your grand sponsor, your mom, like you got a plan, and you got people that were going to help you.
They were calling me every day.
Yeah,
Telling
because
me every
I've
day.
seen people get on medications for their teeth in their sobriety and they don't tell anybody about it. They get
You
on
can't
the
do that.
medication and then they're eating the whole bottle and then they're
Yeah,
relapsed.
yeah.
You know? Hold
As
on, I got
soon as
my dog. Sorry, my dog had to go pee.
no, you're good. As soon as I got the prescription, as soon as the doctor wrote me the prescription, before I even went and filled it, I called them and I said, I got this. And they said, if go fill it and take it if you need it. And I waited until it got bad enough to where I needed it.
Good for you, man. And that is what we have to do to protect our recovery. You know,
Yeah,
it's that serious. Imagine if you had taken those and not told anybody, shit. You'd be off
I'd be gone.
on a bender, you
Yeah, I'd be
know?
gone. Yeah.
So tell me this. So you're an AA guy. And you got sponsor and all that good stuff. That makes me happy to hear. Like I want to encourage everyone to like get involved in some kind of program because it really does it makes a difference to have other people who have been through addiction because they understand us like we understand each other, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's difficult to talk to somebody who doesn't understand. So so you got sober, tell us how did you get into like I know you were rapping and doing music when you were younger, but how are you doing all this and staying sober?
All right. So when I first got sober, or I wasn't in a halfway house. It was more like treatment. And I was messing around and I was writing music and I was rapping in there. And the people I was in there with kept telling me to rap. They kept telling me, they kept telling me, you need to stay sober and you need to rap. They kept telling me because I was in there with a guy. He was like 40 something. He was like, don't wait till you're my age. Go ahead, get sober now and go ahead and rap. And anyway, I'm just telling you exactly what I said. Excuse my language, but I remember I was sitting out there one day and it was quiet. I was being quiet and I looked up at him and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna rap. And I was already writing, but right after that, I still had stuff at the house because I had studio at the house, all that. I still had stuff at the house. I called my mom, made her put the microphone in the mail, made her put my laptop in the mail, sent it to Florida. I started recording music in the bathroom in a treatment center. And because once you got to a certain level, you could have your computer and your cell phone and all that. So once I got to that level, I had my microphone, my computer, all that, and I was recording music in the bathroom. And then I got a job and I got hooked up with a guy that had a real studio.
Mm-hmm.
And twice a week, I was taking an Uber to the studio twice a week. And I did that every day or every week. I was going once. Usually I was going twice a week, but I was going at least once. Never failed. I was going at least once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that every week until the day I came back home.
Because you have a loyal following of people that support you. I
But
was checking out your channel and your comment section,
but
and like everybody is there for you.
and see, I don't. All right, let me say this. Therefore, I've always believed in God, but there, with everything that happened with my dad, I had a problem with God for a long time, and I've always believed in God, and now I'm good. But when I first got sober, I still somewhat had a problem with God.
Yeah.
So music was what I turned to, and it was just writing. Whenever I'd feel like using, I'd write. And I feel like in a way, don't get me wrong, the program got me sober. The
Mm-hmm.
program is what kept me sober. But at the same time, music saved my life. My first sponsor that got me, the first sponsor that got me through the steps in Florida, he looked at me dead serious one day and he said, I don't know if you would have made it without music.
Because it's a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
totally can see that.
But
Where
see, the thing is like I could stay where I'm at right now. I could never get famous, none of that, and I still keep doing it. You see what
because
I'm
it's
saying?
your passion.
Yeah, I'd still keep doing it.
Because that's how I feel about, like, since I started my YouTube channel, this is my passion. Like, sharing with other people and trying to help people find hope and support is my passion. Like, I could be happy just doing where I'm at for the rest of my life, and it brings me so much joy. So my sister's a musician too, and I see it's her passion also. And so when you're doing something that you enjoy doing, it's like you're not even, it's just like amazing. It's not work. It's just what you enjoy.
Yeah.
And I can believe that, like, now. So you work the 12, so you have a sponsor still. I know the music was like what really helped you to change, and probably to get your relationship back with your higher power. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because I was the same way when I got sober. I was brought up super Christian. Like, we
Yeah.
were Pentecostal. And so I was like not wanting to talk to God. And I was like, God, I don't know. I just thought God was this guy that was up in the sky that was like going to hit me for everything I did wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't worthy. And so when I got sober, it was like I had to really work hard to build back up that relationship to where I could even pray, because I was so angry. I felt like God had abandoned me, you know?
Yeah.
But in all actuality, it was me. I left. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
we all do when we're in our active addiction. We turn our back on God and we take that other route. And, that's why I was lost for so long, because I turned my back on him. He was there the whole time. He was what kept us alive,
Yeah.
and we're all like, we're miracles. And that's why, like, I wanted to have you on the channel, because I want to have people on the channel that can share the miracle of their recovery with everybody that's on here. Like, there's 22 people in the chat right now, and every person can relate to your story in some way, because we've all been there, And tell me this, what do you do now? What helps you stay sober now? Like, what do you do every day that keeps you on the right track?
I pray. My way of meditating is listening to positive music. That's the way I've always meditated, and it that's something I do every day. I do it on the way to work. I do it on my lunch break. And even if it's only a few lines, I write at least something every day. Sometimes I might write one or two songs that day, but some days I might not really write a whole song, but I'll make sure I write at least a few lines. And some days I slack and forget, but for the most part, I still call my sponsor every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm about to have 3 years and I still call him almost every single day.
Well, yeah, listen, I have a girl that just started calling me, but we were talking, and I was telling her the other day that the hardest thing for me to do in my early recovery was call my sponsor. And I don't know what it was, but it was like, I don't know, it was just keeping the commitment. I
Yeah.
couldn't follow through with anything when I got sober. It was like I was such a flake. I flaked out on everything. And so whenever I have girls that are like, I'm sorry I didn't call you, and I'm like, it's okay, just call me tomorrow, because I remember being that same way and not calling, and then calling and being afraid that they
Yeah.
were going to be mad or they were going to fire me as their sponsee. And it's like, no, we're just doing this to practice, to get you connected. And so that way, this will be a habit, and you'll just call me, and it'll be second nature to call me every day. I think what happens with a lot of sponsors is that it turns into this relationship where the sponsee feels like it's their dad or their boss or their like authoritative figure. And it's really not like that. It's like we're in a relationship where we're helping each other.
Yeah.
Like, a sponsor needs a sponsee just as much as the sponsee needs a sponsor. Like, we're together working, helping each other stay sober. And I think a lot of people just get the wrong idea of 12-step fellowships because there's so many people that kind of just talk stupidness and then say that they represent those fellowships, And it's like, I don't represent any program. I really enjoy AA, but I'm not I'm not affiliated with them, or I'm not speaking for them. But I know that, I just want everyone to find what works for them and find, a pathway and stay connected. That's the main thing. Stay connected to your sober support.
Yeah. That's how I am though. Like I go every week, but I don't talk about it in my music. You see what I'm saying? I don't do none of that.
Yeah.
I kind of just I don't want people to put me as a face for it or nothing like that.
Right. That's good because that's why AA has stayed alive for so long. Because of that.
I mean, I don't think I will, but I mean, I could come out today and be like, yeah, I go to AA meetings and then go shoot dope tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
That's why
there's a lot of guys on Facebook that like rap and do like recovery stuff. Hold on, Nate. And then they, speak about a program and then they relapse. And then it's like, and listen, no shame, no shade. If you relapse, get back up, get back on track.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of it. But that's exactly why we're supposed to, there's anonymity and all that stuff, because we don't want to discourage the newcomer from joining, because they'll look at it and say, well, Nicole didn't make it. She relapsed. It must have not worked for her. That AA must suck, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm really glad that you came on and chatted with me for a little bit. I want you to tell everybody about your channel and about your music. I'm going to link your channel on my description and in the comment section, but I want you to let everybody know where they can find you and all that.
You can look me up on Facebook. Just type in Matt, TOWNZ, or follow me on Instagram at TOWNZMATT, and then look me up on YouTube, Matt, TOWNZ.
Okay. And listen, man, I don't want to hold you hostage because I know you just got home from work and I can talk. I'll talk your ear off. But this is what I want to do. I want to have you back on the channel in a couple of months just to do like an update.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And listen, also, one more thing. I have a lot of guys that reach out and just need like sober support and stuff. So is it okay if I like refer them to you? Because I'm married and I try not to like get too over that boundary with the men. So I already have Jeff on the squad and I send guys over to him, but I need another guy just in case I have overwhelmed Jeff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can send them to me.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. It was a pleasure having you on the channel, and I can't wait to talk with you again.
All right. Thank you. You have a good night.
All right. See you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, you guys. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed Matt's story. I really, really enjoyed talking with him, and I learned a lot about his story. You know what I do? I go into assuming things, and I think, and I'm so glad that he came on to talk with us, you guys. So, thank you for sharing that. Yours every day. This definitely takes the place of me using. So keep up the good work. God bless you and yours. Thank you. Hey, Divine, I saw your comment last night, and I want you to know that I'm so glad that you are here. Like for real. And Convo Felon. So you guys, I'm going to end this video now, but let me let you know what's going on. Tomorrow night, we have, drum roll please, Convo Felon, one of our very own Real Talk Recovery audience members. That's right, Convo Felon, you are going to be up here on the big screen with me. So you guys come and join us. It'll be good. We're going to talk about his addiction and his recovery and what he's doing now. So I love you guys. I hope you guys had a really, really good time with me tonight. I'm so glad you guys are here. If any of you ladies want to come on and share your story, shoot me a message, DM me, or text message me at the number on the screen, and I'll get you on the video with me, okay? All right, you guys. I love y'all. Thanks for being here. Good night.